sure that the live is actually live. Maybe let's see if those from home can give us any type of feedback, if they can hear my voice, if they can hear your voice. Guys, feel free to talk. Let's see if people can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Let's give it a couple seconds.
Are we? Can they hear us?
We're going to sing a song. Sing an intro.
I'm saying that there is echo. Unfortunately. Oh, you mean echo? Like delay echo? Let me see. Maybe this is audio input properties. Wait.
Could just be that you're in an empty room.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Your audio is echoing, but that's because your room is empty.
Okay. Fabio,
so I think that might be it.
Sound double. I don't know if it's because of the delay, because I had reset the microphone. I don't know. Is this better? Audio input.
It just sounds like you're in an empty room.
Oh, that's it?
Okay. Exactly.
Sorry guys, I apologize. This is the last show that we're going to do with this. There is a call for you, Fabio. You repeat like five times. So,
what's new?
Wait a second.
Tom.
Can you guys listen to me on YouTube and see if there is really all this echo?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is.
YouTube.
What about now?
Funk Soul Brothers.
What about now?
Are we doing Fat Boy Slim songs?
Oh yeah, dude, it's totally hilarious. It's totally reverbed. Very reverby. So I guess are you gonna try to fix this?
Yeah, I've changed already the value. I don't know if it works. If it's any better. Audio input properties. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me see. Wait. Give me a second. Maybe I know what I have to do. Audio input. Advanced audio properties. What about now? Is that fixed now? Am I still reverberating? I think I fixed it now. I think I did.
I'm listening to see, but it's delayed, of course. So.
But anyway, guys, I hope that I'm not reverberating. I want to give a very warm welcome to the judges for this week. Did I fix the audio? Is it fixed?
Yeah, you have.
You see, I'm a wizard. Yeah, no, it's better now. Okay, great, fantastic. So I want to say, first of all, a big thank you to the judges for being here tonight with me. We have Mr. Nigel Hunt, the myth, the man, the phenomena. We got Isabella. She is a analog jewelry designer. Am I saying that correctly? Eva is also a jewelry designer, but she does a lot more stuff with 3D, right, Eva?
Yeah.
So nice to have you here, both you, Eva and Isabella, because of course we've been knowing each other for a very long time now, huh?
Yes. It's nice to actually see her face because we have been living in separate towns for over 3 years now.
It's true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, anyway, we will have to do a catch-up at a certain point. And then we got my friend and ally of 1,000 battles, Mr. Jason Bergeron. James, what's going on, man?
Thanks, Fabio. That was a very nice intro. I appreciate it.
And so
I want to say hi to everybody. I hope you guys are ready to have some fun, like we always do. And thanks thanks for all of you for joining us today.
So today we have a very interesting challenge. We have only 23 entries, and I was expecting that because a lot of people are on holiday and eventually life is going back to normal, and so people don't have that much time to do these competitions with such a small time frame. But we only have like 23 entries for this 3D jewelry competition, which was inspired by my friend Costas during a presentation that he did at 3DS with Nigel. And so, I don't know, I'm very excited to have this opportunity to talk about 3D jewelry, and I have two experts with me tonight. And so when we're going to look at the projects, we're going to have the feedback also from people that actually understand what we're talking about. Because most of the time we don't. But anyway, that's another thing. Also very exciting to say that we have three big sponsors. There is a 1-year 3ds Max license from Autodesk as a prize, and then there is a full suite from Sinai Software. Nigel is here with us, is the founder of one of the co-founders of
correct.
the company. And then we also have assets from our friends at Qucumber. So it's a very cool.
Nigel is the Nye in Sinai.
Exactly.
Thanks for that.
And his name.
That is
and his name is Nigel, not Nigel. And so the name
Nigel,
of the company is Sinai.
Not Nigel, but I have been called a lot worse quite often.
And so the bottom line is that we have a very interesting competition. A lot of cool works were handed in. We're going to do a small panoramic view of all the works that were handed in. Very interesting work. I'm sorry that I'm working from a very small laptop, and so probably the image will be quite a little bit compressed. But hey, 2 months from now, we're probably going to relaunch these competitions from a proper studio setup, and we're going to move the whole adventure that we have created to the D2 conference. There will be bigger times for people to create their artworks, but we're going to have a much better organization behind it, and we're going to make a lot more funny shows and interesting content for those who enter these competitions. But anyway, it feels like I've been talking for 7 hours. Why don't we start with the renderings so that you guys can, from home, can see what the work was that was handed in. And I don't know, we can, first of all, I'm going to do a small slideshow, and then we can talk about all the work that was handed in. Is that okay for you, judges?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. So you guys all have your, do you have the images on your computer so you can see, or are you looking at the YouTube channel?
Just wait a couple of seconds and it will be.
Yeah.
Maybe if you like, I can make.
I've got my multi.
I can make a little music in the background.
Elevator music.
Hey, wait! So you can't see us on the channel right now. That means I can eat, right? Can I have a snack now when it's not showing us?
What is that noise? Oh, no, mate. I have to go on mute.
Sorry, we haven't paid any music license, and so we have to improvise with what we have.
I'm sure Dolly Parton's estate would be thrilled to hear that rendition.
Jolene, 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 Jolene.
It's funny that you bring that up because I just saw today someone posted a medieval style version of Jolene. So they had they've done this like with 5 or 6 songs just during the quarantine time for maybe a month. And they have done like 5 or 6 songs, and they rewrite the lyrics to be, like more medieval sounding, and then the music as well. But they're actually quite good. But it's funny because, you know, these people started in the quarantine 1 month ago doing these songs, and they've got 570,000 subscribers. So, Fabio, we're doing something completely wrong. I mean,
I know.
we should start just singing songs. I really, seriously, I think it's better. Yeah.
I want to know what that trumpet's all about behind you.
Oh, the
yeah.
trombone here. The trombone.
Oh, the trombone. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can play the trombone. Yeah.
There you go. We could have listened to your trombone rather than.
Well, I don't know if that's a good idea.
I have heard Fabio's real trombone, but that's another story.
Okay, that
I
sounds,
want to know what that means.
It's wake up trombone.
We just leave it there, okay? Dario, I don't think that Celine Dion died. She's still alive, isn't she?
Celine Dion,
Yeah, she is. I don't
But
know.
don't
Yeah,
worry,
that's like the wrong
when she's
expression.
gonna pass, I'm going to sing her a funeral.
That was Dario wrote that in she just rolled in her grave, but I think that was the wrong expression. It probably would be like it should have said that she just died. That's what it should have said.
I can sing Dolly Parton.
So
Jolene, 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 I'm begging out you.
this is what it was like when I worked with Fabio in the same room.
All right.
Was constant singing. Like
I'm always too loud. Okay, guys, this is a serious show where we talk about. I don't even know anymore what we talk about on this show, but we should make an effort to talk about the works of the people that submitted because they were really good works. Do you agree?
yeah, let's start.
Okay.
Let's
Has
start.
anyone seen anything?
I sent you the images.
I think Fabio showed them all.
Okay, should we go one image at a time? The first image that I have on my screen right now is from Agnieszka Skwirut.
Yeah.
Weren't you going to do a run through?
Well, you know,
Have you done
No, we did it already. He already went
I've
through all the
already
images.
shown all the images, so you know we can spend a little
we're
bit
gonna
of time
start.
talking about.
Cool, let's get into it.
All right, who wants to go first? Don't be shy.
Can you give me or the audience, what was the brief?
Okay, that's a very
For
good
this
question.
week.
You see, because sometimes I forget the stuff that I'm supposed to be saying. The idea was to create a rendering that had as a sort of like a center of attention, or as the main subject, a piece of jewelry. And this was supposed to be done, of course, you know, as a rendering image. But of course, we don't really put limitations on what the artist can do. If the artists feel like they want to paint instead of making 3D, we give them all creative freedom to do whatever they think is best. And so the reason why I would like for you guys to open the images on your own screen is because then you can zoom in them and you can have a better look at the images themselves.
I'll jump in.
There you go.
So generally, overall, I mean, what incredible work and really, really diverse. And I think that's, as a judge, that's what's been really difficult to actually go through, to try and judge one against the other, because we've got from small items to much bigger to luxury. So I think it's quite an exciting thing to go with. So should we start with the first one?
There you go.
Mhm.
Earrings. That my personal take on it is not focused on the earring enough. I have to actually zoom in to actually have a look at the piece itself. Shall I just keep going?
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, I'm not a jeweler.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
should add a lot to it.
That's why I lined you up.
I find it's a pity that this picture is in black and white, because when you zoom in, you can see, I don't know if you can hear me because my screen's
Yes.
freezing every now and then, but there's definitely a structure on the metal, but you cannot see if it's maybe a Japanese style of finishing this, or if it's some sort of a hammered piece. You unfortunately lose the idea in the use of black and white photography. I find that a pity. But
Or
the
is it a
piece
stone?
itself is, pardon?
Is it a stone?
Yeah, you can't tell.
Unless it's zoomed really close.
So,
I think it's more like
Yeah.
not
It's got
even then.
veining.
It's got veins on it, like some sort of a hand drawn, not hand drawn. It's like an engraving style where you push the metal and you create the texture. It's got this sort of a feeling. It's beautiful looking, like very simplistic, very Japanese. But again, the black and white, you lose what it is.
Yeah, it looks to me like a lily pad a little bit, which would have these kind of details on the surface of it. But I have to say that I was a little surprised sometimes. Like, we do give people freedom to do everything they want, but generally when I looked at all the images, it's interesting to see, like, some people focus on the jewelry and some people just made like an image where there's some jewelry in it somewhere. And for me, based on what this was supposed to be about and like what the result is going to be, that somebody actually can have this thing made, I was expecting more like kind of everything focused on the jewelry, you know, close-ups and like things to see how the jewelry was made and designed, the object itself. But we don't see that in many of them. And for me, I'm looking at, I want to see the jewelry. That's for this challenge. So I wish it was zoomed in as well on this, so that we could at least see more.
Can I just say
the color,
something?
of course, would be good.
So I think that Agnieszka is watching this, and so she can leave a comment. But I think that this is sort of like an experimentation, maybe with like 3D scanning, because the lines.
It is a, yeah.
You know, the lines around the model, they feel a little bit too hard. And so I'm wondering if...
Oh, it's definitely a 3D model.
I'm wondering if
the person
she
is
used
3D.
sort of like this as an exercise to test out some skills, which is great, because ultimately that was the goal of like doing these competitions in the first place.
So I would like also to add something. I do agree with Eva that the black and white choice is not the best for me, because I cannot tell the material. It could well be metal enameled, or it could be paper or whatever. So this is still a mystery. But I do very much appreciate the way it is constructed as a presentation, because it's presented as if it would be already done, and it's in a photo shooting. So you already see the mood and the way it would actually be photographed as a finished product. So I think this is not bad. It's true that it's not so easy to see the product, but yeah, I think that's just the difference between a product photography and a mood rendering and the product rendering. As for the design itself, I must say I find it quite contemporary, although I cannot tell the material. I think it's a nice balance between narrative and abstract.
That's a nice way of putting it, yes. It's a beautiful image.
Guys, I'm going to move forward with this because I'm afraid that even though we only have 23 images, we're still gonna run out of time. So that we can talk about the work of everybody. This is from Barbara Fumarola. She has made like this small collection. I think that she entered also another artwork, which is also very cool. Maybe let me zoom in for those who are watching from home. Who wants to go first?
Isabella?
Sure. So I must say this kind of aesthetic in jewelry is not really my cup of tea. Not necessarily because it doesn't show much ergonomy or it doesn't look comfortable. That's really not an issue for me. But first of all, the choice of material in the first image, the one with the colorful necklaces, I find not very anything. It doesn't really excite me in any way, the choice of material or color. Whereas the shape, although it is very sculptural, and it's abstract, it really doesn't tell me any stories. It's just a random shape, sadly, for me. I'm sorry.
I would agree. I love the color. It's very 1960s. It's very pop art, but from a practicality point of view, from a jewelry point of view, it's more living art than jewelry.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
It's a haute couture, definitely, in sense, or contemporary art. The kind that you see on a catwalk.
Yeah.
I actually kind of wonder because I did see when she posted this into the D2 community group, and she wrote a little bit about it, but not really a lot. If you look at the images, there's the first one and the second one, which Fabio's not showing, I guess, right now. I almost wonder if these are like a series, and this could be some kind of futuristic kind of jewelry that can morph and change color or whatever. But because it's basically the same links. Like if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that they're kind of these repeating linked items, and it almost feels like it's able to change shape, or you can form it like you want. You could form it in different ways, but there's no indication of that. So I don't know if that's what is actually happening, or if it's just 4 different pieces. But I have to say, on the side of, Isabella said that the comfort thing isn't a problem, but for her. But I think that for me, it does look very strange. Like it's like. They don't even look like they're sitting like very well. Like I feel like it would be very uncomfortable to wear something like that.
On that note, if I don't know who's seen the work of Anouk Iris van Herpen or Benas Ferrari, this is why I say it's something you'd see on a catwalk, is because it's got that element of tech in garment. Yeah. It's got that parametric. Something that maybe could even be with some sort of technology inside it. It's fun. I find it a lot of fun. I think Costa will cry if he has to reproduce it. And I think it will be almost virtually impossible, because you'll have to find somebody who can do that in metal. It'll probably be better in some sort of plastic material. But for that, I find it quite fun.
Yeah.
It reminds me also of...
I can imagine trying to make it.
What's the name of the famous Van Herpen? Iris
Van Herpen, yeah.
This work reminds me also of her work. And actually, the funny thing is that, but it's also based in the Netherlands, and so this might actually be the real inspiration where she got it from. But anyway.
Well, it's Dutch collar, isn't it? I mean,
I think that she's chosen the colors just...
It's the old-fashioned Dutch.
Please you,
all the Dutch paintings.
She's chosen the colors just to please you.
Oh, I don't know about the next one. Yeah, you mean the second one or what? Yeah.
Let me move forward, because we still have a bunch of work, and that's our second entry.
Do you want to go over the second entry as well? Because I kind of was looking at both of them, but when I was talking about it, because they're very similar.
I love the second one. I think that's very Dior. It is very. You could see that on a Paris catwalk. I think the way it's been lit, it really shows off the pieces. You could really see that in a shop front. It becomes quite stunning and beautiful, and the subject matter is really well positioned. So I see it as a Dior rough for the 21st
I
century.
think this works a lot better than the other one from before.
I agree. This series of 3 necklaces I find also much more refined than the first one. Also in terms of material, it's also a little bit more plausible on the catwalk or as a sculpture. And the fact that you can actually see a movement from one variation to the other, so you see it might be a family of shapes. I find this also as a rendering much more exciting than the first one, or much more refined maybe.
I was, like Jason, actually talking about both at once, but I would agree with Isabella. The rendering is very pleasing, very aesthetically pleasing.
Guys, let me move forward.
I love the idea of the
Let
rough.
me move forward so that we can have the chance to talk about.
We have a comment. We have a comment from the people watching. Someone wrote, "Orthopedic necklace gone fancy." I mean, that's not very like constructive criticism, but okay, I just wanted to say it.
Just throw it in
Barbara,
there.
knowing Barbara a little bit, I think she would find that funny. So I want Barbara, are you watching? I don't know if she's watching or not.
So this next work is called Broken Heart from Ga-Up.
I like this piece.
It's very well made.
It's also very producible in terms of 3D printing and casting. Not necessarily producible in terms of mold making or series, but I like it very much. I like this, the idea of it as well. The broken heart, the aorta, the inside of the heart. I can see that being worn easily by somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I agree, Eva. It really is very well marketable, but also producible. I think it's very easy to just 3D print as many pieces as you like and have them casted. And I think they did also a very good job with the details, like when you look at the connection between the chain, they really thought of every detail. I think it's a very good piece of jewelry. I would have loved to also see another view on the body, maybe to get a sense of dimension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like this one too. I think this is kind of what I expected people to do. So you could see, but yeah, like you said, Isabella, to see it, like what's the size of it? That would be nice to know. But yeah, this one looks like something you could make, even though I have no idea how you would do that. I don't have any experience, but it just feels like you can make it. It looks real.
Maybe if you can give us like 2 minutes of your expertise, Eva, and tell us how you cast something like this. Can you explain it to us?
I would estimate, Jason, that this chain, according to the way the chain looks, I think that this pendant is probably around about 60 to 80 millimeters in length. So it's quite big. It's about this size. Yeah. You would make it in 2 parts. You would make the bottom is quite easy to 3D print in wax, as well as the top. And the casting is very straightforward. The cleaning is a bit difficult because you see the inside here is not necessarily super easy to get to with polishing tools, but you have all kinds of tools. You have all kinds of cleaners that can take care of things like that, and it's really a very producible piece with not too much trouble or too many steps.
And explain to me, how would you go on about casting such a small element? Because when you cast something, you need to make sure that the cast goes everywhere, right?
Well, first of all, the reason this piece is so good for casting is because the branches are pretty regular in size. It's also very organic in shape. You don't have a lot of sharp edges. And you would need to add spruce. They're called spruce. So they are little branches everywhere on the piece that the foundry can attach to a tree, a wax tree. And depending on how many little branches you put on and how well you position them, the metal flows to all the parts of the melted out plaster of Paris, or the I only know the words in German, I'm afraid. It's like a plaster of Paris with a wax that's melted
I
out.
understand what you mean.
And
so basically
there's a cavity that fills the cavity.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then the wax will melt as the metal is warmer, right?
Well, the wax actually melts out first. It's a vacuum.
Okay,
a generally vacuum cast. The wax melts out first, and then the metal gets poured in and fills the cavity.
Okay, because I would imagine that if that was the case, that you pour the metal over the wax, that you might have some boiling, and so like bubbles of air will get stuck inside. Or am I dreaming?
Well, no, not necessarily in that order. For example, you have many different 3D printing materials these days. You have wax resins, and you have wax, and then you have resins. And some wax resins and resins are more problematic because when they burn out and they leave the cavity, they pop air bubbles, and those create porosity in the plaster of Paris, the mold that you have, and that can create problems when the metal melts in, because you have a porous, you have a bad cast. Although,
yes,
do you hear me?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just, like giving you the time to explain everything without jumping in. Okay, listen, what do you think if I move forward now and I will look at the other work?
Yes.
Keep going.
Let me zoom out. So this is also, I think, what you guys will consider a very makeable piece, right?
This is the ring, right?
Yes, and it's still from, it's called, the image is called The Chamber of Their Secrets, and it's always from Up.
I saw from the same person. I was gonna say the material, the texture they use looks very similar, so it's not surprising that it's the same person because it looks the texture, the feeling of it is the same.
Before I zoom on the image, I want to make sure that you guys appreciate the fact that this was put in the context of a bigger image, and I like that because I think that as an artist you need to play on what are your strengths. And a lot of people that come to these challenges, they come from the archivist industry. And so for them, it is sort of like pushing themselves, to try and do something different. And so we need to appreciate that as well. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I guess that you guys want to look at the ring. And so I'm going to zoom in so that you can see how the piece was created. It's really beautiful. Who wants to go first?
I will go first. I must say I really like the mood and the way the composition is made. And you can really see that they put a lot of thought into it and a lot of work into the rendering. And then after seeing, because I feel like the focus is on the ring, and then the second character would be the chocolate pieces. And then I zoomed in on a ring, and I thought it's actually like they took inspiration from a melted chocolate. So I thought this is a nice connection. And I find the ring as a nice modern interpretation of a chain ring, so to say. It looks to me like they would take more established chain ring, and they just distorted it and gave it a new, fresh look, so to say.
Nigel, you haven't talked in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm agreeing. I think it's a lovely rendering. The jewelry is not to my taste, which is why I'm not commenting. But I mean, it's beautiful. It's stunning. It's got a really lovely sense of light. But I would not find myself going to a shop and buying that for my wife.
Fair enough.
I also want to just comment on the layout of how it's or how it's displayed. I think it's great because you also see here that the chocolate, if it is the inspiration also for the way the ring is kind of melted, like it looks also melted like where it would touch the finger. That's actually really an interesting aspect of it, I think. But the chocolate and the glass also help you understand that it's a ring like immediately. And I think that's very important as well. And I think that's actually a great way to do it. You get the kind of close up of the ring, but also like it's in an environment. I think it's a good idea. I like this layout a lot.
I think it's also not like Nigel, not necessarily my cup of tea, as Isabella said. But I do think it's the kind of piece that you would be surprised how good it looks if you put it on your finger.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Guys, let me move forward because we still have a bunch of works that I want people to see. This is from our long friend Dario Peanut, long-time friend. He's been doing quite a few challenges. And I have to say, I thought that this was a very impressive type of work. I don't know. Do you guys...
This is one of my favorite ones just because I'm such a fan, you know?
Black and gold?
It's like, I mean, I would never be able to wear something like that, but I think it's a great idea to have the face sucker and the like, you know, the little egg up there as the ring, like to combine them together.
Gothic chic.
While saying that, I really like it. I feel like a little bit like the textures are really a little strange, like on the hand and on the gold as well. But also I do really like it. But the ring as well, like it seems so thin. The parts that are around the finger, and I'm gonna pass off to Ava or Isabella for that because I have no idea if that's doable or not. But it looks very, very thin.
Isabella?
I think that if it were made in gold, it might be feasible, but it does look very, very fragile. I cannot tell how many branches go around the finger all the way, or if some of them are just halfway covering the finger. So if they go all the way around, then I would say it's very feasible and it could have a long life if it's made in gold. In other material, I would be afraid of having such thin pieces. What do you think, Eva?
No, I think if it were made by hand, I think it would probably be stronger, the tendrils around the finger. Although I really love the egg on the top with it looks like an emerald, a greenstone.
Yeah.
Looks nice. But I love the bracelet. Jason, the contrast is too high. I think that's what makes it look a bit strange. The contrast is extremely high on the image, but the bracelet really kicks butt.
I think this...
I love the bracelet.
I really like it, yeah.
It's very McQueen, and it's just fun, it's funky, it's hugely expensive, but that's a sort of ridiculous piece that you'd see, you know, at the Oscars or something. It's just someone who's really going to just draw attention to their blood-sucking hand.
I think it's the classical piece of fashion that is designed in two versions. One for the haute couture catwalk sort of like use, and the other one is, you know, you could potentially come up with a scaled down, easier to produce sort of version for everybody to buy. You know what I mean?
They're like a little red.
No, like, you know, instead
Sorry,
of having
Isabella?
the full spider, you could have something that is similar, but it's a little bit less extreme. And so it's a more of commercial.
I think I like the narrative. I find it quite interesting, the choice of storytelling. But as I said, it does look like it would be an expensive piece. It could also be a cheap piece, just gold plated or finished in a gold finishing. But I am a bit, I'm not sure, confused about the material choice because, for example, the hand could be a mother of pearl or it could be a plastic. And then the kind of leather, not leather, like leathery background. I'm not sure if it really tells a story of an elegance or of a high value piece. So I think if the piece would be thought as of a more expensive piece, then I would choose a different environment to present these pieces of jewelry.
Guys, I apologize.
But otherwise,
I realize that we have a lot more images that we still have to go through. Let's just move forward because.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say one more thing as you're moving forward, since it takes you so long to click the button, you know. So that I think the background to me looks a little bit like the alien's head, and I think that's actually kind of the idea. It looks a little bit like the alien head behind the hand. But I also wanted to say that I hope that people aren't using black and gold always because they think that I'm gonna like stuff just because it's black. Because yeah, that has, you know, it has to be more than that, of course. You know, I feel like sometimes when I see it, I think, oh man, it's people just doing that because I said that I like that. I don't know, but anyway, I really like this one. Sorry,
the
let's
next
move on.
image is from Niccolo Provelli. I have to say, when I saw this, I thought it was like a commercial, one of those pieces of jewelry that you can find on the back of a in-flight magazine, you know? It's very cool.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at the. Just that I was wondering what you were going to say, like on the back of and then I was like, what's he going to say? In-flight magazine. Okay. Yeah, it is. It looks like that. It's hard to tell though what it's made of. I mean, a little bit, because you know the one in the distance is a little bit blurry, and then out of focus, of course, and then the one in the hand is a little bit too small to tell. Maybe that's intentional because they don't know. But yeah, I appreciate I know that this is a lot of work to set up scenes like this, and to do this for this competition. This is pretty good to go through that trouble. So I appreciate that at least.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I agree. I just find it a little confusing where I'm meant to be focusing on. There's a lot happening in the image.
To be honest with you, I understand where you're coming from, Nigel, but I still think that the intention here was really to create a commercial. I don't know. To me, it's clear.
Yeah, no, it's like an effort.
Oh, I made Eva laugh. So what did I say?
I am really, really appreciating the effort they did to create this scene and to put in so many details. It has a very beautiful dynamic, the whole picture. I cannot really form an opinion about the jewelry because it's a bit far away and out of focus. But generally, I think they did a great job just setting up everything.
Yes, it's a beautiful ambience that's created here with looking out the window and seeing the other piece in the background, and you got a good feeling, a good atmosphere. But actually, as a piece of jewelry, it could work as well, quite well. I think it looks like it's supposed to clip open, and you're supposed to be able to take the stone out. And I imagine that there's a stone that you would be able to change. So, for example, that's a piece of amber or citrine, and you can change it with onyx or agate or something else, like a disc. That's the feeling I get when I see it, which makes it fun, a nice fashion piece of jewelry, actually. It's a nice fashion accessory. But like you say, you can't unfortunately see the details of what's going on. I think it's snakes.
I think it is, yeah. Like two snakes
Yeah.
eating
Yeah,
each
that's
other's
snakes.
tail. I think that's sort of like
Yeah,
a religious reference, isn't it?
Ouroboros or whatever it is. He actually wrote that. Is it a
Yes,
he? I'm
it's
sorry,
Nico.
Niccolo. Yeah. He wrote that when he posted it. It was something to do with that.
Guys,
Okay.
I'm gonna move forward because we still have a bunch of images to look at. This is from Emanuele Longo, also a long-time friend of the D2. I love this. I think, like this is a smart way for an architect to make a piece of jewelry because it's like, okay, let's take a building of Zaha did, let's scale it down and put it on the finger of somebody.
No, I love this too. This is the sort of thing that I
It's
buy.
amazing.
I think it would make a beautiful bracelet.
It could be a bracelet.
Is it not?
I thought it was a ring.
Is it a? I thought it was a bracelet.
I would say it looks large to me. Like it doesn't look too small, but of course you can't tell. But I think it looks larger than a ring, probably. Maybe it's a hat.
It's lovely.
A tiara. Sorry, not a hat. A tiara.
I agree with Jason. I think it might be a bracelet when you compare it to the shadows of the leaves. It might be that. I think it would work great as a ring as well. And it's such a beautiful interpretation of a Mobius strip, of a minimal sculpture. It has a very beautiful movement, and I think it would work very well in a production line.
I mean, to be honest with you, like it could be a fruit basket. It's a beautiful shape. I love it.
It's just lovely, and I think it's a lovely image too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the image is very. It's
Emanuele
well presented.
has a very raffinate eye, I have to say, for framing and everything.
There's a lot of movement happening there, and especially the negative, the really soft element with the shadows. You've got these strong lines, and it's a nice image.
Guys, I'm gonna move forward because we still have some work to look at. Omar Nias, he has.
We have really a lot.
The thing is that we start with a bias of saying we have very little images, and then we spend giving a lot of feedback, which is amazing. That's the reason why people come here. This is an image from Omar Nias. He made 2 entries. I have selected this because the idea is that you can only make 1 entry with 1 artwork, and the other one was repetitive of the same thing. So I just selected this one, but I think that this was the most powerful one. And by the way, Costas, which is the guy that has inspired this whole challenge, is giving you guys a compliment. So well done, everybody.
Or he's saying he can't make it. We don't know yet.
Yes.
Like this stuff is crazy. I think it's a compliment.
So who wants to go first?
So go ahead, Eva.
It's definitely the most, thank you. It's definitely the most fantastical piece I've seen so far out of the lot. It's got a lot of fantasy. It's going to be, to produce the way it looks here, it's going to be a bit hard when I zoom in. There's a lot of filigrane work here that's not going to come out very well. The base shape would work. I like the spirit of the image. it's very happy
Is this the
somehow with the
is this
colorful
tree of
balls.
life?
It's got a bit of a Christmas. It's got a Christmas Easter feeling to it almost. Not sure if they're Easter eggs or if they're Christmas balls for the Christmas tree, but it's not my personal taste. I would actually recommend this is done by hand rather than with rapid prototyping. I think you would have the feeling of it come out nicely by hand. It actually looks like it is a handmade piece, even in the rendering.
Like that.
Yeah.
It does, especially when you look at the hanger of the earring. It looks like handmade. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't entered in a 3D competition, I would think it's a picture of something handmade. Also from the details, every choice, it looks like it would be a choice made by someone who would make it by hand. The connection.
What I'm not getting is what's the green background element?
Yeah, no, I don't
Maybe
get that either.
Is that part
I
of
would
the
say-
design?
I would say it's kind of a paper or animal with. I would say it's part of the, like a background for the little tree.
Yeah, it
So
looks like
single
Could be
sided.
metal animals.
sort of semi-transparent disc. Like
I don't think it's
No,
transparent.
it's full. It's solid.
I thought it was solid.
I think it
Animal.
is sort of like
It's
no, it
solid.
could be solid, but we've got to. It's impossible to know because there's a black background. But
Yeah.
what I mean is, it could be this kind of material. Like we have a light fixture upstairs that has these discs, which are not transparent, but they're opaque to a degree. You know, like, and it has this kind of mother of pearl or kind of plasticky. It's almost like a shell. And that's what this reminds me of. This green part. It's a little bit like a shell, like something that's.
But then, if you look at the construction of that, how would that be fixed? If you've got the wrapped outer
Super
edge.
glue.
It's-
I don't know. Is that a proper drawing?
It's a frame. It's
I
a
see- I
frame,
see.
and you'd have. It's like a frame. You would basically insert
Yeah.
the disc on the back, and you would clip the disc in
Guys,
with claws.
if this wins,
Right. Okay.
and you're explaining how to do it, then Costas will have to make it. So don't say anymore.
Sorry.
Otherwise, Costas will have to work a month on this piece of jewelry.
Yeah, so Omar said it's just a tree, and and somebody else, Fabio, asked if you
I've done
could
it
zoom
already,
in
I've done
on
it.
some of them sometimes,
done
which
it
you
already.
have been doing, yeah.
Well, the quality of the metal in the rendering and the quality of that background texture, if you zoom in, is quite remarkable.
Yeah, it's good.
Guys, I'm gonna move.
I looked
I'm
at it,
gonna
it's
move
very-
forward
that's right,
because
I
we
felt-
still have quite a bit of
Next
work
one.
to look at.
Mhm.
What do you think about this one from Giuseppe La Greca? Giuseppe is watching right now, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to be happy to get feedback. Now, I don't know if you have seen it posted, but he explained a little bit what this piece of jewelry was about.
You can
Yes.
see it on the book as well.
And so
in the
there
back
is a,
behind it,
there is a
yeah,
bridge in
the
Italy
bridge.
called Musmeci, which is a bridge that was done, I don't know, in the 60s, I want to say, maybe I'm wrong. And he used that to make what I think it is a bracelet, judging from the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's as if based on the books, it looks pretty big. Yeah.
It's bracelet. It's lovely.
I like the
Nice.
idea to use the bridge
I
as
love
the
it.
inspiration.
Mm.
It's a very architect. It's a thing an architect or an engineer would make. That's for sure.
Oh, in one of the big architectural firms, you could see someone walking around with that on. It's a real talking piece.
But I am curious if it's even like big enough to be a choker or something like a necklace. It's huge. It looks like it's quite large actually. Now that I
If
look at
that
it.
was a choker, then that massive piece of greenstone on top there, well, that would weigh your neck down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's a talking piece. You said.
Yeah, talking,
Don't think-
but you've got to better hold your head up.
Talking or a choking piece.
It could be.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I love this piece.
Hmm.
Aesthetically, it represents everything I love about Italian design and jewelry. I only think that, and I'll have to add this to who designed it, to Giuseppe, the goldsmith who does the wire work will want to kill you afterwards.
Definitely.
I love the way that the feet of the actual bridge, when it's formed on the actual bracelet itself, you've got that adjustment that seems to be built in there, where you can adjust it for different size wrists.
Mm.
It's quite intricate. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure if it would work as a bracelet, just because I cannot imagine such a big piece of stone being feasible, so to say. So I'm just guessing that Giuseppe kind of went off with the scale of this piece, and I would see it as a ring, and I think it would be a beautiful piece and also very, very wearable for people who like to wear more statement rings. And the level of detail is absolutely impressive. Every connection, every piece. I'm not an expert on stone setting, so I'm not sure if this stone setting would completely work. I'm not sure in the sense of tension, because I would have gone with the bronze over the stone a little bit. But if Giuseppe would be to produce this, then the stone setter would say if it's feasible or not.
Guys, I'm gonna
Should we
move
move on?
forward. Now this is an image from Hugo Marentes. I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly. He has done 2 entries, but they're 2 different projects. I'm gonna zoom in so that you can see the details. I looked at it, I thought it was a beautiful piece of geometry. I think Hugo is watching.
Yeah.
Yes, hi Hugo. Yes, sir.
Shall I start?
Yes.
The only issue I had with this is
I
the
agree.
lighting, and that when I was looking at it as thumbnails and everything else, it didn't jump out, and I had to actually zoom in to see the piece on both of them. It just the contrast. It just didn't punch.
Yeah.
It wasn't punchy enough for me. But I think it's well executed. And when you do zoom in, you can, as you say, you can see the detail. It's phenomenal. But you have to be able to zoom
This is
in.
the reason why I always keep pushing people on, like, I understand that some designers say, yeah, but I'm interested in the substance, in the essence of the design. But unfortunately, humans are suckers for images, for understanding, and it's a shame.
We're hardwired to,
Sorry, Nigel.
I was going to say, we're hardwired to recognize and to see an image straight away. And it's in our DNA to go, if it captures your attention immediately, you're drawn in. And if you have to actually go exploring to actually discover what that image is about, then you're losing that person's instant. I mean, as judges, we've got to go through all of them. And you glance over it, which is not the intention of a competition image.
Guys, maybe you want to look at the other image as well and then give a feedback to both of them.
Shall we keep going?
So I personally prefer the second image, the one that that's worn on a female body.
Or on the male?
Yes,
Okay.
on the one on the female body, I prefer, because I find the shape a bit more innovative, so to say, or it's a shape that I haven't seen so often, whereas the other one is more of an interpretation of a very well-known subject. And also the proportions are quite normal, banal for the first one, for the cross necklace, whereas for the second necklace, I find that the Hugo had maybe more courage or more room for experimentation in terms of dimension, but also in terms
Although
of
I
shape.
have to say that even the way he executed the cross, it's just amazing from a geometrical point of view. Like, there is really a lot of I guess that he has put a lot of effort into modeling it, you know.
For sure.
But you know, like
Yeah.
as Nigel has said, I think he has missed an opportunity by not tuning the light in the right way. Because it's like you look at the image and I don't know, maybe I'm just being too strict about it. What do you guys think?
So you've got to be strict. It's a competition.
Eva?
It's
I
I
also
agree,
agree.
Nigel. You have
Sorry.
one chance, you know. You have the chance to that it sticks out immediately, and that you realize immediately what the focus is. And you have to make sure you do that. You know, it's important.
Although the choice of the choice of mannequin I like, but yes, the lighting could have been treated differently. But using the sculptures as mannequins was quite nice. And I agree with Isabella. The necklet, the collier, is really quite exquisite. Going to come to Costa's rescue here now. I'm going to say that the production of this will be a small nightmare. So it would have to have a treatment done if it was to be made. For instance, a lot of areas would have to be fattened up, and it would probably have to be made in parts, quite a few of them, to give it a high quality finish. But if it were made,
Eva,
I think it would look
you
incredible.
heard me singing before. Once my hip hop career will take off, I will spend any money you say to get this piece done so that I can wear it when we go out for dinner.
The cross,
Yes.
the cross, the skull. Yeah, it's quite an impressive piece. It reminds me of who's the artist who did those pillars that were done with fractal, and he 3D printed them a few years ago. I can't remember his name anymore. Sargmeister. Was his name Sargmeister? Yeah. It gives me that impression a little bit. And I like the skull in the middle.
It is a beautiful interpretation of a cross pendant, I must say.
Guys, do you mind if I move forward? There you
Let's
go.
do it.
This is from Jaime. Hello, Jaime. I know that you're watching this. Guys,
So
there is a lot to
I have
unravel
to say,
here.
Jaime is creating stuff. I mean, I don't know how he's doing this. It's like he's just he's crazy. I hope he, bought this. I hope he bought this scene because it looks like insanity to make. I think he probably did not make all this, but that's fine. I think it's a good idea. The only drawback though is that you don't really see what the jewelry is, and I don't know if he really cares about that because his scene is so intricate otherwise. But I would just like to say you have to look around and zoom on this scene because he has kind of made a little joke about like all of the other challenges in here.
Exactly.
It's crazy. There's a stormtrooper looking out of the drawer. There's the mask from COVID. There's the thing, the model from the guy. What was the guy? What's the guy's name? The thing challenge? And like in the drawers, It's hilarious. I mean, oh, and his own
There's
image
the
is actually on
cube.
one of the drawers too, from one of the other
The
judges.
cube.
So I get a feeling a little bit that he was having some fun here, just to he's like, I'm gonna take part, but I'm gonna have fun with all of it, and I
Yeah,
really love that
I
about
agree.
it. It's a great image, but yeah.
I
But actually, he
agree.
went. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Isabella. You go.
I am super impressed by the rendering of the workbench. And I find it very, very interesting how he managed to also present the jewelry. Of course, we have to zoom in a little, but even if you don't zoom in, you can see the sketchbook with the exact shape of the piece, and it's big enough so you see what it is about, and then you see them in the middle, under the light, the spotlight. You see the pieces of jewelry, and I find it just fantastic. I mean, kudos for this presentation. Whereas for the aesthetic of the jewelry, that's also great.
I love the fact Jaime is so funny. He's making a little joke about it. Like all those pieces that are on the table are like the ones that he couldn't get right. Like it's just like the messed up pieces, like each one was like it's the impossible. It says on the sketchbook, the impossible necklace. And so the guy's like the girl is trying to make this thing and it keeps messing it up. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's great. The images, I mean, it's amazing.
There's one thing that just niggles me. Everything else is, I completely agree, Jason. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But my eye keeps drawing to Fabio's cap, and I don't know, am I right or wrong, or should it not have a shadow?
The cap, I don't know.
And it's just a thing that my eye keeps drawing to that, and it's like everything else is side lit and beautifully lit, and then that almost feels like it was a last minute, let's quickly drop this over the top.
I think it's correct. I mean, I see some light coming in that direction.
Wait though, guys. I mean, okay, I
Everything
agree.
else is fantastic.
The shadow, there could possibly.
just don't like
it's just
my
getting.
hat.
I think you just don't catch the shadows. But I noticed when looking at this that maybe I found the real piece of jewelry. It's hanging behind the hat, and it's a necklace with a D2 logo that's black and gold.
Check that out. Yeah. Oh, I love
Maybe
that.
that's the actual necklace. I don't know.
We
That's
should
quite
get
cool.
this done.
Actually, you
Oh man, that would.
I think
That's
we're gonna
quite
have to get some big gold
That would
chains
look
with the
gangster.
D2 logos for
I
next
should
year.
also get like a grill for my teeth,
Don't go down that route.
unless you can detach it whenever you like.
Jason, I see you've been leaving graffiti in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yes, and I
It's
love
fantastic.
the little NASA sticker as well. This picture has managed to embody both the piece of jewelry, because the penrose is, funnily enough, a piece that a friend of mine in Vienna is making out of stone. She's been designing a penrose, and I find it a very aesthetically beautiful a piece of a sculpture. It's very sculptural, and it's a really cool image.
Yeah, I think.
It's kind of it's won all the criteria in my eyes.
Yeah,
This is crazy. I'm just zooming
so
around.
beautiful
It's
image.
totally crazy. All this stuff in there, and bravo, fantastic. I love it. I can't really comment on the jewelry, but I think the
Guys,
image is
I'm gonna
great.
move forward because we still have a bunch of images to look at. This is from Jessica Silente. I'm gonna zoom in on the jewelry just to make sure that you guys see it. But I also, I think it's very interesting the whole image as a whole,
It's a Who wants to start? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So I think the jewelry is very relevant for our time. Is something that you could produce and wear and sell very well. I am not sure about the stone settings because I cannot tell from the rendering, but even if she didn't think it through, it wouldn't be a problem to actually produce or find a suitable stone setting. And then I find the presentation also very down to earth. This is how you would actually present such jewelry in a showcase, in a shop, in an online shop, in a vitrine. I think she did a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. And I am no expert in renderings, but just as a human being, I am very impressed with the materials. I'm very convinced with this rendering.
All right, guys, I'm afraid that we need to keep pushing forward because we still have quite a few images to look at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still 9 images. Yeah, if we keep spending all this time on all the images, I'm afraid that we're gonna go over the 2 hours. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I don't want people to die on us.
We'll go quicker.
Do you mind if I move forward with this? Yeah. There we go. The next one is from Lisa de la Dora.
Okay. Can I say something? Yeah, please. Each individual piece is beautiful. I find the choker around the neck the most alluring out of all of them, and I would find that a huge challenge to produce. I think it would be a nice challenge because you could just cut a piece, make a mold, have a few wax pieces injected, and create a bangle, an earring, whatever you like. I find it a pity that she used 3 different pieces of jewelry here that all look entirely different. It didn't make sense to me. I think she should have perhaps focused on 1 piece only and maybe made 3 different renders, each with a single piece. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Eva.
I agree too.
James? I think Jason, is it with the dog?
He's gone
Okay.
silent on us.
Should we move forward?
Yeah.
What about this one? This one is from Maria Vittoria Porro, and she went all David Lynch on this.
Sorry.
I'm wearing my cufflinks, and as a huge Twin Peaks David Lynch fan, it's just I want these. I saw this and I thought, where do I get these? If this doesn't win, Maria, I want to commission these
There you
myself.
go, Maria, you got a little job.
And I just love the case, and I love the little message at the top.
What they seem.
What they seem.
Just fun. It's everything about it's great.
Have you noticed the shoes of are these? This is
foot.
This is
And the red curtain,
Yeah,
everything, the tiles.
Oh, it's just. So did I tell you how I won I went to an event and it was a fancy dress event for Twin Peaks, and of course I got dressed up as FBI Director Gordon, and I wore my headphones and I went just around shouting at everyone, and I won the evening. So this it was all decked out. It was black and white. It had crazy, everything about it was twisted and weird and lovely. So I want these cufflinks.
It's a belated award.
It's look, if you zoom in on the design, they're just so much fun.
Yeah, the textures are great. The textures are absolutely funky. and the
Yeah.
2 little diamonds for the eyes. It just
Beautiful.
gives it that touch of class, that touch of elegance, and it's got a very Grecian, Greek, old Greek feeling to it. I'm a big fan. Maria, great
And this
work.
is Dale Cooper, right? Or maybe it's David Lynch. We will never know.
That
Yeah.
The feet, you mean, or what?
Gordon.
Guys, I'm gonna move forward. Well done, Maria Vittoria.
Keep
The next
moving.
one.
This is another fantastic piece from Nancy Moreno. This woman is so
Yeah, I like this one
talented.
too.
I cannot explain where she gets her ideas from, but this is just amazing.
Mm.
I also like the presentation of it. I believe the colors are the color composition is very nice, and I kind of like the idea that this hand is kind of like stone or something, and you have it's a really amazing texture on that. I think in the end, though, it really helps.
It
It
looks
really
a little
helps
bit
sell
like
this.
oxidated bronze, like a statue that was under the water for very long, you know?
Yeah,
Under the water. And the
Atlantis.
caustics of the water, the caustics and the
It's
shadows of the
incredible.
water on it, like it was some sort of lost Atlantis that's been found. Beautiful image. The texture on the octopus
I
is
don't know,
amazing.
you guys. I don't think that here it's worth to sort of like judge the piece of jewelry per se. I think it's more like this works because of everything rather than just being a piece of jewelry. And I think as an image, it's really like it's telling a story, and it's, you know, it could be like a frame out of a movie.
To make this would be possible, and it would look, I think it would absolutely be stunning if it was made.
That sounds good.
I don't have anything to add. It's a fun image. It's good.
I agree.
Should I move forward?
Yeah. Thought you were having a sleep.
What do you guys think?
Which
This
one
is
are we
from
on here?
Ramon
Sorry.
Camara.
Ramon. Yeah, okay.
Ramon Camara. You first.
I'm going to talk about lighting. It's so before with Hugo's, we talked about it being too dark. That just from a purely rendering point of view, it's this overlit image. Everything's, I'm not getting that nice sense of 3D to it with sort of a side lighting. It feels quite flat and very much. It's a great piece of modeling. I would like to have seen it just a bit more interesting lighting, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think the chain is too important. The chain should be like should be more focused on the object. But I do have to say that the object is once you look at it closer, it's pretty interesting. I'm curious how you would even do that though, because it's like it looks like it's a piece of red glass or something, or it can't be a gem. I mean, how would you even start with that? I guess. But then to have this overlaid on top of it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about it?
Fun modeling exercise. I think it's one geometry scaled up a little bit, then with a random polygon selection, you delete those polygons, put a smooth modifier on top, or sort of like a... Oh, sorry.
That is not what I was talking about at all.
Sorry.
I was
How do you
talking about
make
how
that?
Ava and
That's like-
Isabella
Sorry.
think you can make it.
You don't want to lesson in
I just
3D
meant
modeling.
on my own, like...
I would say you could make it, but I with fear of Costa hating me for saying this, but with mold making and resin, you could make the inside. You could make the resin inside, and you could use a mold of the resin to to create the outside as well.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not going to go into detail, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's I have very mixed feelings about this piece. I both like it very much and at the same time find it hard. I don't know why.
Guys, I'm gonna move forward.
Fabio,
Because I'm
move
looking
on.
for the
Big
representation.
selection soon. And we have.
Yeah.
So Fabio, I want to mention on these next ones, this is the same object. So we only need one image. This is
Okay,
the
I
same
did not
object.
know
This
this.
from this
Yeah.
person, I think. I think that the for me, honestly, the best image is the frontal image. I don't know,
Okay, yes, I did not notice.
which would be the second one. I think is I don't know if I was gonna.
I think I like this
Or
one
maybe not,
more
I don't know.
because here you don't understand.
That's the
what
problem.
this is.
That's
I think we
okay.
should
So
look
which
at
one are we
this
gonna look at? Because we, that's part of the.
Yeah.
The
What's
first
this
one.
one? First one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So is this
I
a
think it's a
crown?
ring.
That's my first question.
It's a ring.
Because if you look at it from the
And it's
second
from
image, looks like it
Shingo
could be a
Everard.
crown, like the way that it's shaped. See, that's the problem. I don't know what it is. Like I can't see. I don't know. There's no way to tell scale wise, like from the, like there's nothing there to give it the scale. Could be a bracelet.
Looks very fragile.
I'm fantasizing about seeing a pearl like this in real life. I would love it. And somehow it just, the thought that a pearl like this in the shape could actually exist tantalizes me. I'd want to make a piece of jewelry with it, but unfortunately, no. But yeah, it looks very fragile. It's a very alien looking piece.
Yeah.
And it also looks quite aggressive. So if this was a ring, it would be quite uncomfortable. It has lots of sharp edges that would be uncomfortable. So maybe it would work better as a bracelet or, as Jason says, as a crown. I could see that. And
As a
maybe
crown?
instead of the crown. And I think it would be it's nice to fantasize about such a pearl. It's just a fantasy, but you could get this in resin or in ceramics or in another material probably.
Guys, should I move forward?
Yeah.
The next one is Stefano D'Arco. I mean, I don't know you guys, but I think that this is so creative because I don't think this is a piece of jewelry that I've ever seen. I don't know.
I
wonder
also
if it
like
fans
this.
out. Wonder if it fans, if it actually fans out or it's a fixed piece. If you zoom in, it's fixed, I think.
Yeah.
It looks fixed to me, yeah, too. But yeah, it looks very fine, like a very, very fine, small, very thin material.
And I like how the image.
But it is interesting because I would never have thought of something like this,
Yeah.
like to wear
Like,
something like
I
this
know
or to
how the
have
image
something
works,
worn
you
like
know,
this.
The framing and the background, the pattern that he has chosen. Stefan is a really talented designer.
It's very beautiful.
Any
But that looks
feedback?
incredibly commercial. You'd expect to see that. No, I think it's lovely.
All right. I think I'm gonna move
Very
forward. We
delicate.
still have 2 images. This is from Ruka Jewelry. So I guess that this is a professional jewelry maker. And I guess it's a ring. Tiger ring, yes. The name says that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If that was a belt, like a world wrestling type belt, then it would be pretty damn heavy. It's a ring.
That's definitely a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that you say that, it would have been really cool to see at least one belt buckle. Like from where I'm from, belt buckles are the thing. It's like
Well, okay.
this could be a belt buckle.
Could be a belt buckle as well.
I mean, you could make one.
It's a really masculine ring. It's a beautiful rendering. It's when we went over it before, my wife said you should get that for your brother, for Christmas. As like, so you can see, as a judge today, I've got a shopping list going on here.
I like the details also of the infill of the ring itself are like bamboo stalks, and that's a nice. I think also like a nice detail.
Crouching tiger.
Yeah, I like it too.
Should I move forward? There is one last image.
Yeah, it's a very realistic looking rendering too.
And this is from
it's a lovely
Zelda Van Buren.
Oh, I really like this one. It's so funny. I think.
Because you're black and gold again, Jason.
I really like this though.
This is the only one that is diamond encrusted out of all of them. This person's gone full bling. It's
but I think I think it's supposed to be like fake stones though, because it's mega phony.
Yeah, but
oh my god.
I mean, come on.
Why wouldn't you wear that to a protest?
This is the Kanye West. The Kanye West protest megaphone.
It's beautiful. You zoom in on that and you just see it's dripping with diamonds.
Well.
But none is done really well.
Okay, this is the kind of megaphone I need for the D2 when I scream, "People, go back inside!"
We're gonna get you a megaphone next year and just put like fake plastic crystals on it.
I'm running out of voice. I cannot keep doing that.
Big time bling.
It's a lot of bling there.
Yeah, I think Jaime said he thinks it's a necklace, and I think it is a necklace. I mean, with the chain there and everything. So I would assume this is like hanging around your neck, similar. Like I don't guess it doesn't look that large either. So I don't know. I think it's I could see somebody wearing this.
If it was large, I think that those stones would probably be enormous.
Right,
guys,
exactly. Yeah.
It's small.
Guys,
you look at the
sorry to rush you through this, but now we got to the point where we need to choose, and it's nice to see your faces again. Thanks a lot for sticking out for me for an hour and a half. I'm gonna put on the screen all the images so that you should be able to see the.
So I just want to say that Olga, who is commenting, she's Costas's partner in life, and I think in the jewelry business as well. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure. She said that Kanye would wear this 100%. The megaphone.
Kanye. And so I would say that now what we need to do, I have already made a folder. We need to trim these 22 items, because one we deleted it already. We need to trim them down to 10 so that we have the 10 best images. And the way we usually do that is that we look at each single image and we say, can this image be in the top 10? If we have 2 no's, then for sure that image is not going to qualify in the top 10. I want you to take your time, but don't take too long time, because we need to.
But can I also ask, like, before we do this, because I think it's really important, what are we going to take as the ground rules for this? Because like, for instance, some of them are more about the image, and I think that, in my opinion, those are, for me, not going to go through, because it's like should be about something we're going to make this piece of jewelry, right? So is that
Well,
something
you
that we're
know,
going to think about? I'm just asking.
So this
Is it
is
something that
still a
can be
rendering
made?
competition. The idea was to make a beautiful image. I think that to have something that works, you need to have both the good piece of jewelry and the good image to go with it. And so I would say,
Yeah, I
you know,
agree, but
because let's say that we find the best image not to be the most feasible of the jewelries. At that point, we will go back and we will choose one of the best 5 or the best 10, and we're gonna see which one we can produce. Sort of a celebration rather, because you know I understand that somebody might come up with a great idea, but that great idea works only on the image and it doesn't work in real life. I hope that that makes sense.
yes. Yeah, but that's the reason I asked, because when I watched the live stream back then when you did it, you guys were really talking about you're going to make something, Costas is going to make it. It's like a whole, you know, it all went together. So yeah, it's about the image, but it's also about the jewelry, at least from, you know, that was what I understood
Of
like
course.
when you guys did the live stream back then. So I just wanted to double check before I start, you know, sending all the nice
Yes.
things that could be made to the trash can.
Absolutely. No.
Are you
Gonna
going to
keep it
flush them today?
professional.
Okay.
Also, we have quite a few artists. It's
Okay.
their first time here, and so I don't want them to get up.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
So I would say let's do it.
I don't know if you can see my screen. Do you guys need me to make the thumbnails a little bit bigger? Can you see them on my screen?
No.
No, we see
No,
you.
no, but I mean
Yes.
on YouTube.
Are you guys watching the? Are you guys watching the YouTube feed?
Oh,
Are you
okay.
going to do it live on YouTube?
Well, I mean, usually what we would do is we would just look at each image full screen again and do it. But I think it's better to see the thumbnails, because then you can kind of remember what images there are. I think you should take a look anyway, so that you have a feeling yourself which ones you would, you know, put in your top 10.
Well, I've got all the thumbnails
Okay,
on my
so
screen.
I'm gonna go one at a time,
Okay.
and maybe you guys wanna take. What I could do, I could show you the images one more time, also from home, so that you can have an idea as of what we're looking at. And then we can go through all the thumbnails and make a selection and see which one can qualify as top 10. I'm just gonna show them quickly. It's actually still incredible work, even though it's only like 22 entries.
Oh, they're all
It's still
stunning.
incredible that people, you know, took the time and went through the pain of having to come up with a concept.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work there.
Even looking at the thumbnails on the other screen, it is like looking at a jewelry store. It's just, you look at all of those, and they're all.
So guys,
They all look
let's
real.
go through each one of them and let's see
It's amazing,
whether or
yeah.
not you think that these images can qualify as top 10. Let's start with the image from Agnieszka. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Ooh,
No.
yes.
Oh, sorry, Fabio.
No.
Are you
only
gonna
if there
also
is a tie.
vote?
You have to.
Okay, but
Yes, Eva?
okay, so
Yes.
we're starting at the first
So
one.
we're talking about the image from Agnieszka.
Correct.
No.
Okay,
Breaks
so
my
it's
heart,
3
but no.
no's and 1 yes. I'm going to delete it. Thanks a lot, Agnieszka. Beautiful work. Barbara Fumarola, the first, the golden, red gold, and silver necklace. What do you guys say?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you very much, Barbara. What about the second
No.
work that she did?
Yes.
No.
I'm also going to go with no. I love it, but
Okay, so 2 no's. I'm going to delete it. Now, it's very important that you remember all the images that are left because we will have to make a top 10.
Yes.
So I would recommend you judges to also go through back and forth to make sure that, you know, we're not going to say no to too many images and then we have too little images left.
But as we like to change rules like here and there as we go along, what is the problem if we get down and there's, as I would say,
but
as
I
long
still
as
want to
there's
have the top
5,
10.
we're good, right? But I know, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So,
You're
the
the
broken
boss.
art from Ga Up. What do you guys think?
Yes.
yes.
2 yeses. Oh, 3 yeses.
Yes.
It's funny because I would pick the other one from him myself, and I don't want to pick both of them from him because you know. I'm going to say no.
What
to
about
Broken
the
Heart.
What about the second one?
3 yeses.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the ring, right?
Guys.
No.
Okay.
I'm also going to say no.
Still has 1 image in the race. Darius. What do you guys think about this one? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Nigel said it
Yes.
twice. Like, still
No.
it's 1.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
We're
many
talking
yeses?
about the alien, Dario.
The alien. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
3 yeses.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Then let's talk about the eclipse from Niccolo Brovelli. Do you guys like that image?
Mm.
Don't be shy.
I'm
so
going to
it's
say
3
no.
no's.
No.
It's a lot of hard
Well,
work there, but
Yeah, Fabio, you worded it wrong. You said, "Does anybody like that image?" And so nobody wanted to say no because the way you said it was like
Emanuele
nah.
Longo.
Just not. It's not. The image is fine. It's just not for the top 10 for us.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, 4 yeses.
Yes.
yes.
What about Omar
Okay.
Nias? The tree?
For me, it's a no.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to say
No.
no
Thanks
too.
so much for
No
participating.
from me.
So now we have 16 items left. We need to get rid of 6. So Giuseppe La Greca with the bridge bracelet.
Yes.
I would say yes, but because it's hard to produce, I'm going to say no. But I would love to have it just for myself.
Okay. So what's
I would
the
say yes.
situation? 2 yeses?
Two
Yes,
I
yeses.
want to
so.
yes.
1 no.
So Giuseppe, you made it through.
One.
Now, Hugo Marentes. The first one,
Which image?
the woman.
The first with the cross.
Ooh.
No.
Oh.
9. No.
Wait, the first one is the woman. I thought the first one was
It's
the man. At least
Hugo
the way
Marentes
it's listed
1.
on my screen.
The first one is
The man is first.
Okay.
So 2 no's.
I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Your computer is ordering
What about
alphabetic
the
different than mine.
cross?
No.
Ooh,
No.
I would almost say
You guys
yes for
are-
the cross.
hardcore. Okay. Hugo, thanks a lot
Almost,
for
but not, or
participating.
what?
I'm
What
going
is
to have to
almost?
delete this. We still have to get rid of 4 items. Maybe let me give you a overview of the images that are left. Judges, feel free to look at the images that are left. Choose wisely. We need to
Yes.
pick 4
Okay.
more images that need to leave. Yes.
Did both of them from Hugo get removed? I'm just keeping track here as well. So
Yeah, he has.
okay.
I think the Tahitian pearl, the Shin.
Come again?
From Shingo. So I think
The
we're losing Eva
Everard.
a little bit.
I'm sorry, I did not understand.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? Can I go forward? So we are at the Jaime
Yes, go, go, go.
Diaz Alvarez image.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jessica Silente.
Yes.
It's funny. Okay, I'm not. I mean, it's funny because I love the image, but I would say no because I don't.
Guys,
For the jury itself, I feel like
we
is
have
like
a little bit of time.
You're
issue.
outvoted.
part of the
Jessica
fun. No, I'm just
Silente,
saying.
yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I would say also
All right.
no.
Oh.
So we still have 3 items to get rid of. Now there is Lisa de la Dora.
Yes.
Look at the images that are left because I feel that there are
No.
some images that might be a little bit less strong than the ones that you have deleted. I just want to make you think because we don't want to do the mistake of like getting rid of too many images before getting to the end.
I mean, the thing is I can see 3 right now that I could remove and it would be done. But the problem is we don't all have the same.
But,
we don't
I
all
still
agree on
want
that,
you
right?
guys to pay attention because otherwise.
Yeah, I understand. We have to select which ones we are going to say no to. Otherwise, we're going to end up with too many gone, and there'll be some left at the end that we don't even get
Lisa
to look
de la
at.
Dora, what do you guys say? Yes or no?
No.
No's. Thank you very much, Lisa. So we got Maria Vittoria Porro with Twin Peaks.
Yes, I think
Yes.
that's a
Nancy
pretty clear.
Moreno.
Yeah.
Just from talking. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
Did I hear
Yes.
3 yeses? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Then
3
we
yeses.
got
I believe so.
Ramon
Yeah.
Camara with a heart.
I would say no.
No.
I'm saying maybe.
Maybe
We
as
got,
well.
we got one more image that we need
We
to
got
get
2
rid
no's,
of.
so
So Shingo Everard.
So not this one. Then.
No.
No.
I would also
No.
say no. I think that's the one.
And you
For me too,
agree
like
that
from
these
what's
are the
left,
best
that would
10
be the one I
ones.
would say no.
You would not go backward and change one with the ones that are available here, right?
Which one do you like, Fabio? Which one is
No,
it?
I just
Yeah, come on.
need to make sure that you guys have been guided in the best way possible.
Yep.
Because now,
I'm gonna turn those.
now we will.
in. What the ones?
Okay.
I'm happy with
So
the-
now,
I also think I'm looking at the ones we removed. I believe that we got it right, except for the. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but that's not. That was.
There's one that I would have preferred to keep.
There were a
in.
couple I said yes to, but I mean, it's not. That's fine. That's how it is.
the use of scientific system. So now we need to, each one of us has to pick one image that we want to delete, that we think it cannot make it to the top 5. And I made the new, yes.
This is the hard
I don't know
part.
if you can see my screen. Wait, it should update in a
No.
second. It should be available now. You guys should be able to see it on YouTube. Can you see it?
Yep, I've
So
got my.
now, judges, you have the
I'm
chance
using
to
Adobe Bridge here,
eliminate
so I've got it.
one
labeled.
image, each one of you, and in theory, you should tell me why you are eliminating it, and we should be left with 5 images at the end, and this will be our best 5. I'm waiting. Who goes first?
Okay, so
the earlier you go, the
first
easier
person
it
has
is,
the
guys.
easiest.
So I would say Nigel should go.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Show us how it's done.
Nigel is super deep in thought right now. This is crazy. You guys can't see him, but he is like.
There it is.
Sure.
So,
Oh, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So I think I'm gonna choose Stefano's
Nigel,
hairpiece
you will rot in
solely
hell,
because it.
but you are a judge.
I know. But I think it's beautiful. It's stunning. But we're up against a lot of tough competition, and as this is a rendering challenge as well, that there's some great compositing gone into that. She's a beautiful, stunning model, but the others are all CGI. So that was my
Stefano,
choice.
thanks a lot for participating. Nigel said no.
Sorry, Stefan.
Who goes next? Eva, you want to go next?
No, Isabella, you go.
Okay.
I like it difficult.
So I would eliminate Zelda. I think it would be a funky piece of jewelry, but the way it's presented here does not really convince me in comparison to the others. I think it would, if it would have been worn on the body, maybe it would have.
Okay, so
made
is
a
this
bigger
one
impact on
Zelda?
me. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
The megaphony.
So, guys, let me
that.
just tell you that this piece was done by Eva. And so the problem is that when I asked Eva to be a judge, she had already made the piece and she already submitted it. And so I was like, fuck it, we're gonna change your name and nobody needs to know. Yeah.
It's fine.
But
Sorry,
I
Eva.
think it's fine.
No, man, it was supposed to be a tongue-in-cheek, and I think to have made that, Costas would have probably cried.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say also that I hope we didn't say anything
No, I love
extremely
that.
rude about it or anything.
Okay,
No, not at all.
Jason, you go next because I want to give Eva the second most hard decision to make.
Oh, you're gonna get okay. She wants the hard one. Okay, fine. Oh yeah,
I think I know which
this
one
is
you're
a
doing.
tough choice now.
Should I write
I know
it?
you think. I know because
Should
yeah.
I write
but-
it and then we'll see.
Oh,
Then
man.
we'll see.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Write down what you think I'm gonna pick, so we
Yes.
can have a little
Wait.
separate competition. Does that mean I have to pick it now? Because I know which one you think I'm
done.
gonna do. Or do I pick another one because then I
No,
so
don't
you
do
can't be
that.
right? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick. I think it's pretty obvious. I think Jaime's image is freaking awesome. It has everything in it. But for me, the jewelry, I just don't. It was like it wasn't really about the jewelry that much. So, but the image itself is fantastic, and I love it. And I'm going to print it out and put it
You're
on my
getting
wall.
rid of Jaime?
So. But that's what I.
Friendship is over!
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, I got it wrong. I thought you were going to
So which
pick
one did
a
you think I
broken
would pick?
heart.
Really? Okay. All right. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. But
All right. Eva's next.
So who's next?
Yeah, I'm going to go against myself here because everything inside me loves this piece more than any of the others. And I'm going to eliminate Giuseppe because I have the feeling to make that piece, it would require so many factors that are difficult that it will be extremely expensive to make. It will be a pain in the ass to make. It will need to have changes and adjustments made and so many other factors thought into it to make it. I love it. I would want it for myself. But I think in terms of makeability, it's a no.
Which one is that?
Giuseppe,
Oh,
the bridge ring.
The bridge.
Thanks a lot for participating. All right, guys. So we are left with this. Yeah, I need to pick one.
You need to pick one.
You need to pick
It's
one.
a hard decision to make. Look, I think I'm going to get rid of the tiger ring because to me, yes, it's a great piece and it's very well executed, but it doesn't say anything special. And so, thank you very much, Ruka Jewelry. I appreciate it. But these are our 5 finalists. So we got up. I don't know if this is your real name. I always ask people to use their real name. Then we got Dario, Emanuele Longo, Maria Vittoria Porro, and then we got Nancy Moreno. Guys, now this is the time where we pick in the order that we see the images on the screen, our 5 to first place, 5th to first place.
The list is ready.
The matrix
My
is ready.
matrix is ready. Yeah. Okay. Who's going to go first? Order them as they are seen on the screen. So that would mean, if the first one is number 5 for you, like in that
Let's
way.
explain it a
Like
little
from
bit better because
first
I
place
don't
to
think
fifth
if they
place.
haven't watched it, they don't know what we mean. So say that, I think that the broken art should be number 4, and then the second one should be number 3, and then, I can say 4, 3, and then Emanuele Longo will be, 2, and then Maria Vittoria 5, and then the other one is whatever is left. We just need to give our selection, what do you call it? Our chart in the sequence that you see on the screen. Is that clear? I think I did not. I did not.
I don't see what you're seeing on the screen, so.
But Nigel, do you know what we have left? Which images?
Oh, no, look, I'm all over it. So I'm ready to go.
But you see
I
that
gotta
on
see the
YouTube,
names.
right?
Okay.
No.
No.
Okay, just Nigel, when you tell me your numbers, just tell me and I will put it in the proper place if you don't see the screen. So you ready? Go ahead.
Yeah. So number 5 is Nancy.
Okay, so hold on. That's the last. Okay, yeah.
That is the octopus. Number 4 is broken. Number 3 is Manuel.
Emanuele.
Emanuele Longo.
Yeah. Number 2 is Dario, and number 1 is Maria. The rings the cufflinks that I am buying.
I'm not surprised. Okay.
Fantastic. There's Christmas sorted.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yes.
Shall I?
Sure.
Okay.
So for me, if you can list the numbers as they are on the as they're listed on the screen, that would be most helpful. Nigel couldn't see the screen, or can you see the screen?
Okay. Going left to right down the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Okay, so just to double check that we have everything right, this 5 is Broken Heart, 3 is Dario, 4 is Emanuele, 1 is Maria, and 2 is Nancy, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly great. What I needed. Okay, Isabella, you ready?
Yeah. So let me see, because I made my system differently. So Broken Heart should be on the 4th place.
Mm-hmm.
Dario should be on the 5th. Emanuele on the 2nd. Maria Vittoria on the 1st. And
Mhm.
Nancy on the 3rd.
Okay, and then let me get mine.
I'm not gonna
Fabio,
do it
do you have
unless
yours
there's a
yet?
tie.
So you're not going to do it unless we have a tie, right? Okay, so let me just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I have to really concentrate now. I didn't really pay attention yet. I had to think about writing yours down.
So Fabio, why is your room gone all orange or yellow? Are you sort of emanating light from your very,
No.
very bright
It's
t-shirt
in
there?
here, and so I have a very crappy room light. There you go.
You've gone all yellow. Oh.
I miss not having my LED lights and all that crap that I usually use to make videos.
Okay, so I'll tell you what mine were. I numbered it in this way. It was 5, 3, 4, 2, and 1. So you guys all picked Maria's for first, and I picked the last from Nancy. But otherwise, it was pretty close. So I'm going to add these up real quick.
Elevator music.
Gone into the D2 computer there. The D2 computer is adding it up. It's
the 1970s.
an abacus. Oh no! It's look.
Okay, so we have a tie. At the moment, we would have a tie for like third and fourth place. So Fabio, do you want to vote?
Oh,
and then we
shit,
just,
man.
I'm not going to say what.
All right, but this could change everything.
Yes, it can, but that's what we've always done. If it's a tie between second and third, we have not done it. But if it's like below third place,
4,
yeah.
5.
Okay.
1.
Yep.
2 and 3.
Continue. Okay,
Shit,
so
have I messed things up? Have I messed things up?
no, I think you fixed it perfectly. So you didn't mess things up, but now we have a tie between second and third. But you didn't.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Can we get the audience to vote?
No, it's fine. Second and third, we've always said is okay. We can handle that. So
they're all winners.
Yes,
as far as I'm concerned.
So I'll just the results are like this. The first image was. You want to put the images back up, Fabio? The first image from Ga Up, if that's the name, I don't think so, but is the 5th place. Number 4 would be the second image from Dario. It's very disappointing, but that's how it is. The third place and second place tie is between Emanuele, Longo, and Nancy. So the last image.
Maria Vittoria,
and so the winner is
congratulations.
Maria.
Jason, congratulations. Thanks. Let me just quickly write.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Fabio?
The first one is Maria Vittoria, and then we got second Nancy, and
second and third
Emanuele, and then we got the 4th is Dario, right? Oops.
4th is Dario, and 5th is
correct.
And 5th
Broken Heart. Yeah.
I hope that you guys are happy with the outcome of this competition. I'm going to be talking to Costas in the next days to see which one of these pieces of jewelry we can work on and create the actual physical model. I think this was a great, fun competition. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it, judges?
Yeah.
Isabella looks cooked. She's like,
Very fun.
It's a
Very
little-
fun.
No, it was really fun, and I'm very impressed about the creativity, but also
So,
about the rendering
let me
skills.
just say that to the winners, I'm going to get in touch
Lots of work.
tomorrow with the prizes so that I can distribute them to you. Judges, thanks a lot really for taking the time. We've been going on for more than 2 hours, and actually with the preparation we've been talking for 2.5 hours. So I appreciate you taking the time. Nigel, thanks a lot for putting a shirt. So that was like
Oh, look, I got dressed
I'm
up.
dressed up like a homeless person. But anyway, I want to say thank you to the sponsors again. Nigel from Sinai, the guys from Qucumber, and the peeps at Autodesk for giving us the prizes. This was a lot of fun. The competitions are now officially on holiday. We're going to come back around September. Just give me the time to move because we're moving from Israel to Switzerland. There we're gonna start a brand new adventure. We're currently working on the D2 online event, which will be a 5 days event, 3 hours a day. We're going to have a live, which is going to be interactive, and people will have a chance to interact. So make sure that you're following us on all possible networks because we're gonna try and come at you from everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And Jason, am I forgetting something?
No, it sounds good.
We're gonna tweet.
Twitter, guys, Twitter.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be on TikTok. We're coming at you
I'm gonna
live.
do that.
TikTok. We're gonna make some music
Snapchat.
videos. No. Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, don't.
So
Don't do that.
Yeah. I don't think you forgot anything, but I just want to say that we're super excited about the D2 thing, and we've got a lot of really great people lined up. And we're
That's
not going
the
to tell
fun
you who it
part.
is, so you have to come and
Yeah,
see who's
that's
going to
the
be
fun
there.
part.
But there's some really good stuff.
Of course, Nigel.
Can I have a word? I just want to say that I have so enjoyed myself over the last 13 weeks tuning in to watch this, and it's like that's over 3 months you've been going, and you've done a great job. It has been entertaining. If you think right back to the beginning, this has been part of my week that I've really looked forward to. So
Our
thank you very
pleasure,
much,
man.
guys, for doing this.
Isabella, Eva, thanks.
It's been fun.
Thanks a lot for being
Yeah, I look forward to
the
September.
honorary guest judges in this competition. Thanks for being the experts. Nigel, thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
putting up with our charades. I understand that we're very demanding at times. I just want to, of course, absolutely.
Can I ask a favor? Can you flush me before we go?
Wait,
I
wait. Let me
I don't
see if
mind
can
being
find
flushed
it.
as a judge.
Wait.
So I saw that Jaime wrote, thanks to the judges and to
Jabio.
Jabio. I think he meant Fabio, but or maybe he meant Hiabio. Hiabio. Yeah, he just changed it to Fabio. But he says he'll miss the challenges. But Jaime, the challenges are not going to disappear. They're coming back. It's just going to be a break, and then we're gonna roll these into the D2 stuff, and we're still going to do it. It's just going to be with more
We
time in
also have more
between, so
time
people
to
have more
organize.
time, and hopefully we can up the prizes and the professionalism. I mean, maybe not too professional. We don't want to make it not fun, but anyway, I just wanted to make sure that Jaime knows that and everybody out there knows that we
Guys.
are not stopping these. They're going to be back.
Guys, please
This is
leave
just
a
a
like
toilet
under
break.
this video. If you're new here, subscribe. And I will see you next week, hopefully with a brand new video. I'm a little bit busy now. We're packing. We have a lot of things to take care of. I'm not gonna tell you the problems that I'm having right now, but you know, take it as good. I'm trying to do everything I can to bring you content all the time. So be patient a little bit in the next few months because it's going to be a little bit messy. But anyway, I'm very happy that everyone tuned in. Thanks a lot, the judges again. Good night, everybody. I'm going to stop the live stream. You judges don't go anywhere so that I can say goodbye one more time.
Goodbye.
I'm waiting also for Ava since her camera is frozen. So there she is. She just popped in.
Always.
And it's done.